Morning, Willie.
Morning, Brian. Tuesday? This coming Tuesday for a board meeting?
Yes.
This is it, then?
Tuesday will be it, Willie.
Have you decided?
3 days' notice, you can't do this to us.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Willie. You can't spring this on us with 3 days' notice.
You did, though.
Why, haven't you done your homework?
This is a full board meeting to decide to merge with Zenith to make us the biggest firm in the world. 3 days' notice is absolutely derisory.
If you've another engagement, I'll convey your apologies to the board.
Oh, no, I wouldn't miss this for the Judgment Day, Brian.
Quiet. Incidentally, you're wrong about the purpose of the meeting. We'll decide not to merge with the Americans.
Oh, do you think so? How would you rate your chances, Willie?
Very even, I suppose, 50-50.
Worse.
Well, why not join the winners before you have to?
I still think I can stop it.
3 days' notice for Zenith? Now, they'll want to be here, too, you know, to make their own representations.
I should have thought it was an internal matter.
Well, it isn't, is it? Well, where is it to take place? Location to be advised, your memo says.
Or did I forget to put it in?
I suppose you did.
Oh, dear.
Why not the boardroom?
Well, we may be at it for a couple of days. We need somewhere out of London for a bit of peace and quiet. Here you are, Willie.
Thank you.
I thought about it for a long time. Somewhere where we could be alone, no press, no interruptions, and I had a splendid idea here.
Oh, what a good thought, Brad. It is splendid.
Tickets?
On the Queen Elizabeth II. Your first class suite.
A board meeting at sea?
Why not?
Well, it's perfect.
And everybody can bring their wives and things.
No, Brian. No wives. We don't want to be distracted, do we?
Oh, Lord, I took the liberty of phoning Roz, and she's very keen to come. I am sorry.
So we're to be kept shut up on board until you get the decision you want. All soft with wives and gracious living.
It's half the fun.
What is?
Zenith can come along, too, if they can get bookings, of course. I thought, let's show the Yanks what it is to be British.
How are you getting on in there? If you want a drink before lunch, you better hurry up.
I can leave it. I thought you were working.
Let's get have a drink then. I'm dry with figures.
Alec,
Coming?
thank you for bringing me. No, but you didn't have to. I'd have accepted it, you know, despite Brian's dead.
Nice to have you aboard, Admiral.
Joking apart.
Joking apart.
I know you think I'm being a bloody fool.
Oh, come on, Sister Stewart.
I am, in a way.
Yes, sir.
It's not because I love you any the less, you know that.
Makes it worse, really, doesn't it? Come on, let's go and have a sinful drink.
I'm so tired of wrestling with my wretched conscience.
Yes.
Could we have a sort of truce, just for the trip?
If it'll help.
You're a lovely man, you know that. You're kind.
Oh, sure.
Well, lead me to a martini.
Roz, do you really think I'm kind?
Oh, I'll tell the world.
Well, do me a favor.
What?
Don't tell Brian's dead.
Excuse me.
Good morning, Mrs. Foss.
Good morning, Mrs. Ted.
I hope you're quite comfortable.
Thank you, quite comfortable.
Good. I wondered if you'd give me the pleasure of lunching with me.
You have to take your turn. Zenith got here first.
Morning, gentlemen. Morning. Good morning. See you later, Mrs. Foss.
Thank you. And So, Mr. Chester, you are supporting the merger.
Yes,
Your company, the Beckwith Insurance Group, is controlling 32% of Mogul voting stock.
Yes.
No.
Yes or no?
Now, Beckwith owns slightly less than that. The balance is controlled by other insurance interests. City of London money, which will almost certainly fall on Mr. Chester's lead.
And you've been buying stock.
Yes, madam.
How much?
Well, we have
Not a
almost...
lot, Mrs. Foss. There's not a lot of stock in the market. Since news of the merger got out, the stockholders have been sitting tight.
The proposed merger.
Quite.
All it needs, Mrs. Foss, is for you and I to get together. You to vote your late husband's shares in favor of the merger, and Mr. Stead has lost. His board meeting is just a formality.
Of course, yes.
And there's a story of you being offered a job by Mogul. Now, we'd honor that, of course.
I've decided I'm not really qualified to be anything as that rich, gentlemen.
Well, it's still there, if we could get together.
I think we can get together. For lunch.
Damn perverse woman, we paid her passage. It's all stacked against us. Yes, it is, rather. Even if I can get the board to reject it, I'm just assuming that victory. With Chester, all they need is her, and Chester, well, he's no friend of mine. Willie, I feel old. I can see, smell defeat. It's half an inch away. Brown, I've never heard you. And when I feel like that, Willie, I'm at my very best.
Because he's not on the board.
I know he's not on board, darling. That was just...
Listen, woman. On the board. Peter Thornton's not a member of the Mogul board. Besides, he's a sight too busy in Alaska to come sailing.
I couldn't hold to seeing him there.
It's Alex Stewart.
Hello. Ron, do you remember Joe Lizard, Willie's missus?
Yes, hello.
How are you, Mrs. Stewart?
Oh, where's Willie?
Go off with Brian Stead somewhere, you men and your business.
I know.
Oh, now, Roz is for a martini. Can I get you ladies something?
I'd love it, actually.
You do know your husband's assistant, of course.
No, we haven't met.
Come in.
No.
Willie's just the same. Blithely assumes you know everybody he does.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roz. I'm good. This is Ginny Vickers, my assistant. Ginny, Roz, my wife.
How do you do? I didn't know you were going to be on board, Dr. Vickers. Oh, no. You didn't mention it, Alex.
Oh, no, I'm just thinking about it.
Oh, darling, I think I'd like to go and have lunch now.
Gentlemen, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, since this is a preliminary meeting for us to meet each other, Mr. Maine of Zenith has asked me to take the chair. Mr. Maine and our managing director and deputy chairman, Brian Stead, will each say a few words. Mr. Maine?
We are here for one reason, to decide an issue. Should Mogul and Zenith merge, join interests, and work together? Now, I don't have to tell you that Zenith's answer is an unequivocal yes. The doubts, such as they are all on Mogul's side. Now, Mr. Stead may tell you about them. What we are proposing is a rare and difficult thing. It is rare because it is difficult. And it requires men of courage and vision to make it work. We want an equal partnership between us. Exactly equal, with just 50% of each other's equity changing hands. Now, this merger will benefit us all. We, the management of two great firms, experts all, will have vastly larger interests to administer. We'll have bigger jobs. Also, rationalization will certainly give us larger profits. Now, we shall have those profits to distribute to ourselves and to our stockholders. Now, this is that rare game called winners. In this merger, there are no losers. There can only be winners.
Gentlemen,
I have listened to Mr. Maine with tears in my eyes. Millennium has come. The lamb can lie down with the wolf. Unselfishly, Zenith is proposing to bestow great kindness upon us. I must apologize for my less than worthy suspicions. We've heard words of a rosy future, glowing words, words calculated to bring tears into anyone's eyes. But there were a few missing words, too. One of these missing words is competition. Why don't we get together? Stop competing and loving each other. Because it has been proved time and time again that it is healthy to compete. It is essential to have something, a rival, an enemy, against which to measure yourself and your performance. Another missing word is a dirty word. The dirty word is a dirty thing. That word is monopoly. I expect Mr. Maine will tell us how to get around the inevitable accusations of monopoly. He will not convince me that we should. Mr. Maine has eulogized the richer pickings we all get from this merger, even this I doubt. I have 1,000 objections, which we will go into later. Now I will confine myself to one single question. Will this merged giant have its headquarters in Britain or America? This is a critical question. Who wins this fight will hope to win the later battle for control of the whole group. I do not want to work for an American-dominated concern. I am very, very sure you gentlemen of Zenith will not want to work for British masters.
I object. We want equal partnership, not a battle.
Gentlemen. We're only hearing opening addresses. Let's keep open minds.
It's always something like that.
Like what?
Well, I heard...
What did you hear?
Well, there'd been some talk.
It's all around Mogul House now, is it?
Oh, no. It's just something Willie said.
What exactly was that?
I don't want to.
No, go on.
Simply that you and Alec...
No, about Dr. Vickers.
You know.
I don't know what Willie told you.
If you insist. Your husband and Dr. Vickers...
Yes.
Are having a thing.
A thing?
Well, an affair.
Mrs. Izard, if it's any of your business, my husband told me that he had a relationship with Dr. Vickers. It is now over.
For her, too? Smooth young man whose mother spoiled them. The real person is solid charming. That's impressive.
So you're impressed?
I'm impressed.
Or am I wasting my time, Mrs. Foss?
I think it's time you call me Ghislaine.
Ghislaine.
I can't answer your question, Brian. May I call you Brian?
Please.
Except that I'm not wasting my time. And I think my husband gave me the keen enjoyment of the absurd.
What?
No. Money is absurd.
Sometimes it is.
It always is. How very ridiculous a sheltered young woman like me, a little girl really, should be in this situation. It is absurd that money can make me the key to something so big and serious and important as creating the largest firm in the world.
I don't think that's absurd. If you were what you pretend to be, willful, autocratic, it might be. But I think you know very clearly what you are. And you understand your responsibilities.
You are?
You're just sitting on the fence, aren't you? Choosing not to interfere.
Is that what you want me to do?
Ideally, I'd like you to help me stop this merger.
Is there any reason why I should do that?
And if you weren't, then not joining Zenith, sitting on the fence, leaving me only to persuade Mogul's board, suits me very well.
Are you always so honest?
No, I can be very devious.
And very clever, yes. Right. I want to know a great deal more about
Instead, looks as if he's doing altogether too well.
Jealous, darling.
Oh, don't be silly, Rose.
Why is it silly? She's pretty, too. Not
Thank you very much, and a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This evening we'd like to sing a few little songs. Some you may recognize, and of course some you won't recognize. This particular song is written by Tony Hatch, and it's simply called Call Me. If you're feeling sad and lonely, there's a service I can render. I'm the one who loves you only. I could be so warm and tender. Call me. Don't be afraid, you can call me. Maybe it's late, but just call me. Tell me, and I'll be around. If you say your friends desert you, I'm the one who's thinking of you. I'm the one who'll never hurt you. Maybe that's because I love you. Just call me. Don't take it late, just call me. I'm silly, but just call me. Tell me, and I'll be around. No, don't forget me, 'cause if you let me, I will always stay by you. You gotta trust me, that's how it must be. There's so much that I can do. If you call,
You still forgot to tell me what that woman's doing on board. How did you manage for 5 days past Dr. Vickers?
Quiet, Rose.
When you give me perfect grief, you gave me your word it was over. Here she is again.
maybe it's late, but just call me. Tell me,
Business talk.
I'll be around. No, don't forget me, 'cause if you let me, I will always stay by you. You gotta trust me, that's how it must be. There's so much that I can do, that I can do. If you call, I'll be right with you. You and I should be together. Take this love I long to give you. I'll be at your side forever. Call me, darling. It's late, but call me. Yes, I know it's late, but just call me. Tell me, and I'll be around. Come on and call me. You better call me. Come on and call me.
I don't mind talking about it. It was 13 years ago. I think about her a lot.
Yes?
She was a very gentle person. We were married for a long time. It was no strain being with her. She was very relaxed and quiet.
What was her name?
Marjorie.
Do you still miss her a lot?
For a long time, very much. I still do sometimes. But it doesn't do to brood, though. You've got to live your life, haven't you?
Yes, you do.
13 years ago.
And in 13 years, was no one else?
Well, of course there has. It hasn't worked out. I worked too hard, I suppose.
I suppose you do.
Ross? Ross?
You're a nice man, Brian. May I offer you a drink in my suite?
Oh, what about mine?
I expect mine's more comfortable. Mogul is spoiling me.
Well, of course.
Miss Vickers, I want to speak to you. I don't think I want to speak to you, Mrs. Stewart.
Do you think it would be very impolite to stay and listen?
Yes, very.
Did you say so? Oh, here we are. May I take your coat?
Oh, thank you.
Would you like to pour us 2 brandies?
Yes. Are you sure you don't want to get rid of me? It's awfully late.
I expect you and I don't need much sleep.
I thought young people needed a lot of sleep.
Sleep is another habit.
I suppose it is.
The whole evening and you mentioned business just once. Was it a strain?
No.
May I ask you something, Brian?
Of course.
Was it your idea to bring along the wives?
Yes.
And Miss Vickers?
She got a ticket as steward's assistant.
To the widow and the widower, Brian. Did you plan for Stuart to be fighting with his wife?
No.
No.
I'm merely an improviser, Ghislaine. I just hoped.
A spectacle, aren't you? A slanging match on deck? What kind of behavior is that woman who's supposed to be fighting to hang on to her man? My God, you are... Oh, don't bring your God into it. He's caused enough trouble. My husband's obviously discussed our marriage in depth with you. Your husband needs to talk to someone, and you're being a fat lot of use to him, mooning about like Ophelia. I would like an answer to one question, Dr. Vickers. There is nothing further to discuss. Are you still having an affair with Alec? Yes. I see. Thank you. Only he's not having one with me. What does that mean? Just that. I can't follow your academic labyrinths. Mrs. Stewart, will you please listen to me? What good would that do? You're not going to get anywhere as long as you keep seeing yourself as the wronged wife. Aren't I? You've really got yourself stymied, haven't you? A good Catholic, a good wife, but since the Pope's encyclical, you can't be a good Catholic wife. You mustn't have children, so you can't sleep with your husband, and all the priest can say is hard luck and self-restraint. That's no excuse for this. You have enough excuses already. All this God stuff's mainly an excuse. You're an atheist. No. I'm a don't know. You don't know either, nor does the Pope. I won't defend my faith to you. I'm not asking you to. That's for you, but you can't have the penny and the bun. Either you resolve this soul-searching and tortured conscience, or you lose your husband. Sooner or later, you lose him. To you? Yes. I'd like him, but there's always someone like me around. You know, a man finds his woman. You know, I feel rather sorry for you. That's an improvement. At least you've stopped feeling sorry for yourself. Is that the pattern of your life? Being the other woman? No. Don't go blaming me. You have to find out what's important, what's most real for you. Nobody really knows about it. Nobody can prove God, but you can know if you love your husband. Where do you fit into all this? Perhaps I don't. Alec broke it off? Yes. You're a lucky woman. And you? Oh, I'm everybody's jolly aunt.
Why should I? Give me one good reason why I should.
What's in it for you?
Yes.
Thank you. Also, you'll have the reassurance of knowing that I'm looking after your money rather than a bunch of Yanks.
I lived in America for some time.
Well, there you are. And there's the fact that a business can grow too big. It can get top-heavy and unprofitable. Mogul is already as big as one man's head can hold. Mogul's zenith could only be run by committees.
How much is Mogul worth?
Oh, I can't give you an exact... Why?
When you start running into those kinds of figures with so many zeros at the end, I don't think only one man's head should try to hold them. I prefer to think my piece of it is being handled by a committee.
Ghislaine, there's an old joke that a camel is a horse designed by a committee.
Brian, where cometh five, horses die.
All right, well, if you want to, you can make nonsense of any reason I give you.
If I try hard enough.
What it really boils down to is who do you prefer, Maine or me?
Or both. Both might be better.
If Zenith wins, I should resign.
There's a big dramatical announcement.
No.
No. It's a bit of an emotional blackmail.
No, it's not.
If you resign, Brian, that would be your own problem.
Quiet. Don't let it influence your decision, Ghislaine.
All right. But you still haven't given me one good reason why I should support you.
I'm still trying.
I can give you one.
Can you? What?
Yes. If we were to get married. As a wife, I should have to back my husband.
That's true. It's always worth thinking about.
I mean it, Brian. Will you marry me?
Sorry.
What?
I said I was sorry.
What about?
Putting the light on.
Well,
And for this evening.
yeah, I should just about think. What is that?
What?
What you got on?
Oh, I just had it with me.
You've done your hair.
Do you like it?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you'd like it. Do you want anything?
What?
Oh, anything. Coffee? A drink?
What is the matter with you? Do you know what the time is? Why hell should I want to drink in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Alec, please.
Please what?
I've been thinking.
Rose, is this important? Because I've got another long day.
It's important. I think it's important. I've been very, very stupid.
Yes.
Not just this evening.
Well, I suppose you had some cause.
Yes. And no.
No?
I've been so preoccupied with myself. I haven't thought about you. How you must be feeling.
Well, I didn't make much of a secret of that, did I?
Please let me say it. It's been tough for me. I mean, nothing changed between us except just an idea.
Yes, I know. Well, I suppose it was really very brave of you to follow your idea through. Well, it was very honest, anyway.
I can't just bend it when it suits me, not and stay a Catholic.
I know, Ross. Ross, what are you trying to say?
That I have been very selfish.
Well, I suppose I haven't been very understanding anyway, so...
You have. But you're a man and I haven't been a wife. Now I will be again.
What do you mean? You trying to tell me
Yes, I am.
that you want me
Yes,
to
I
make
do.
love to you? Are you out of your mind? What are you thinking of? Do you want to risk a baby?
It doesn't matter.
You know what the doctor said? It could kill you. A baby now could
I
kill you.
don't care.
Well, I care. What the hell are you thinking of? How dare you? How can you think of a thing like that? If you'd really change your mind, you'd have done something about it. But oh, no, your blessed, pure conscience wouldn't let you.
I can't, Alec. I just can't.
I know!
But again, why not? It would be a deal. It's what we both want. I can't be a 25-year-old widow with so much money and live freely. I must get married.
Ghislaine, it's impossible.
Every young fortune hunter in the world will be beating at my door.
Ghislaine, it is impossible.
Why? Why is it? What's so impossible about it?
I'm nearly twice your age.
George Foss was over 80 when I got married to him. I'm beginning to get very impatient with you. Am I so ineligible?
No. No, you're very, very eligible. It's ridiculous. You could have your pick of 1,000,000 men. Why me?
Because 1,000,000 men will be beating at my door. Everywhere I go, there will be swearing love, undying devotion, giving me not a moment peace to be what I want to be. I must have a husband, you.
Well, very, very flattered, but...
You don't have to be flattered. We're ideal for each other, that's all. You are what I want, and I'm what you want. You can go on being the boss man in Mogul.
But we've nothing in common.
We've everything in common. Listen. Neither of us wants to get involved. We both want to live our own lives. We are both widowed, alone, and we like it. We both have enough money.
No, I'm not rich.
If you care, I make you rich.
Oh, no.
We are both... I don't know how to say it. Yes. We are both emotional virgins.
Well, I'm not.
What else are you? For 13 years you lived alone. You like it. You don't want to be bothered. I won't bother you.
No, I'm not like that.
I'm like that. And so are you.
What happens when you meet some young man and fall in love?
I've been in love. Once is enough. I can't be like that for a young man. I don't want to be in love again. That's not what I offer you. You don't want that.
How do you know what I want?
You were talking about advantages.
Uh-huh.
What's in it for me? What have you got to lose? Me for a wife.
Uh-huh.
I don't have to sell myself.
No.
Money to paper the walls.
Yes or no?
It's all nothing. I'm offering you the one thing you really care about. I'm offering you Mogul. Mogul on a plate. I want to go to bed. Brian? No. Go to bed and think about it. Venice will have to swim home. No more problems. Mogul is yours.
Don't let this Zenith business get you down.
Hmm? Zenith? Oh, that's no problem.
Oh, isn't it?
Charles, would you describe me as an emotional virgin?
Oh, what?
I've just been called an emotional virgin.
By whom?
Mrs. Foss.
Oh, well.
She's asked me to marry her.
What, Mrs. Foss?
No. Really, she did. She really did. She asked me to marry her.
You're not being serious.
I am. Deathly serious, and she was.
Good God. Well, what did you say to her?
Well, no more problems with Zenith, Charles.
No, I suppose not.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, it might.
Where do you stand now? You still undecided?
No, of course not.
No.
No, in that case, I'm with you, Brian, of course.
You see? You threaten anyone with Mrs. Foss and they come running.
Brian, you've been drinking.
Solid. All the evening, but I'm not drunk on alcohol.
Brian, what did you tell her?
I ain't no secret.
No, about marrying her, I mean. What did you actually say to her?
Charles, old friend, you wait and see.
course it's true. Oh, I don't know. No comment.
Mrs. Foss.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
What can I do for you?
Mrs. Foss, it isn't true.
What?
Well, there's...
Excuse us. There's a wild story going around the ship. To the effect that you and Mr. Stead...
Maybe getting married.
You've heard it too.
I've heard it.
But it's not true.
It is true.
You and...
You see, underneath that gruff exterior beats the heart of a romantic.
Stead?
Brian Stead.
Where is Stead?
I expect he's dreaming somewhere.
Yeah. He must be on the ship somewhere.
My dear boy, I must
Morning.
apologize.
No.
It's terribly
Come in, won't you?
It's not disturbing you.
Not at all, not at all. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Oh, that would be excellent. Thank you very
I
much.
suppose you haven't come across my wife on deck or anywhere.
No, I haven't.
Now, it's black without sugar.
Well done.
It looks as if it's going to be another good bright morning.
I sincerely hope so, but the latest weather report isn't too bright, I'm afraid.
Oh, is it?
No. Steward. Stead and Mrs. Foss may be getting married.
What? The cunning devil. Well, that changes a lot of things, doesn't
Well, I fancy it's taken him as much by surprise as the rest of us.
it? Oh? Does Zenith know?
Yes. I've called a meeting in the private conference room for 11:30.
Well, there's a board meeting.
I fancy we ought to have a talk with Stead first.
Yes.
We should have found him by then.
You should have it tucked under your arm, Willie.
What?
No, with his head tucked underneath his arm. He walks about it.
I read a story once, a science fiction thing.
You don't read that sort of nut, do you, Willie?
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
Anyway, they had these heads, no bodies. They kept them alive for centuries. Just the heads.
You're being very macabre.
Oh, well, you're being very flippant, Brian.
Am I?
In the circumstances. You're not out of the wood yet, you know.
No. In fact, I'm very...
There you are.
Oh, it's Master Chester.
It's, this the price you pay?
For what?
To keep fit for Gisley.
I won't ask you to join us.
Oh, crap.
I've been looking all over for you. But I say...
Since you've not fallen overboard, we must talk.
Must we?
Things are somewhat changed, aren't they?
You want to talk deals?
Some sort of compromise, anyway.
No dears, Chester. You have to take your turn.
Wonder where they keep the heat control for this thing.
Oh, well.
Oh, yes. You're going down. Ross!
I've been looking
I've been looking for you. You should have had me
paged me.
Why were you looking for me?
Well,
Where have you been? What have you been up to?
I've changed my mind. And I've done something about it.
Oh, you're a brave girl. Now, I've got a meeting. Oh, to hell with my meeting.
It's not the way to make $1 million.
That's right.
What it is about the sea.
No?
Did you hear about Mr. Stead?
I heard.
And I'll tell you something else.
I'm sure you will, Mrs. Izard.
Sir Charles Bliss.
Him, too.
There's no fool like an old fool, they say.
Do they?
Apparently he's all around the ship with some young girl, dancing till all hours of the night.
A pretty girl, blonde.
That's right.
That's his niece.
Oh.
You know what they say, don't you?
What?
To the pure, all things are prurient.
Well, now, Mr. Stead, if you'll take our congratulations as understood.
How kind, thank you.
Perhaps we could get down to business.
By all means.
Let's make ourselves comfortable.
Well, it's really a question of,
Dowries,
what?
isn't it? Dowries. Isn't that the word?
Well, however you describe it, we can assume that Mrs. Foss is no longer impartial.
You can assume that, yes.
So in a fight, you could swing a big chunk of stock.
The biggest.
Yeah.
Well, it's our sincere hope that this doesn't come to a fight. Bad public relations always.
However it's handled, it always looks as though someone is bullying someone else.
We're not ducking a fight.
Let me. And you, sir, what is your position now?
I'm not wholly opposed to you.
Ah.
But I should have to ask for so many compromises from you. So many safeguards that it really wouldn't be worth your while to press it at this time.
I see. We could still win, you know.
We'll get a good number of your stockholders.
How many would you guess?
Oh, about 25%.
Brian, what's your estimate?
Willie, you did some figures.
About 15 to 20, I find.
That'll be enough.
With 20% and Mr. Chester's stock, we'd still have you.
Mm-hmm. This is more fun than Agatha Christie, isn't it, Willie?
Brian, I appreciate your mood, but this is serious.
It'd be more serious if Zenith still had Chester with them.
Well, haven't we?
Mr. Stead and I have come to an arrangement.
We've done a deal.
Brian, I do hope you haven't overstepped your authority. Any deal would have to be ratified by the board.
They will, when they will.
Well, I can't follow you so blindly. What have you offered him?
Nothing.
Nothing?
The status quo, Charles. Chester has 2 seats on our board. If he backs us now, he can keep them. If not, we get rid of him.
It wasn't put quite so delicately.
Well,
They talk about rats leaving sinking ships.
Not nowadays. Ships like these don't sink. Oh, hey. You're just in time to buy me a drink.
Go on, thanks so much. Now, there's the whole Mogul board sitting waiting for us.
Oh, no, let them wait.
Brian, before we go in, there's one thing I'd like to say to you.
What?
My wife's been getting at me.
Oh, Lord. Well, it's all this globe-trotting. Cheers.
Cheers. But seriously, you know, it is quite difficult to change one's mind without looking a bit foolish.
Have you changed your mind?
Yes, I have.
Why?
Well, I'm not saying the merger couldn't work, because I think it could, but I'm saying that it won't work unless we're all wholly and enthusiastically behind it.
No, well, Zenith don't agree with you.
I begin to think that Zenith don't understand these things.
Well, what have I been trying to tell you all these months? They're all gangsters. Maine, for example. Now, there's a man I'll bet was never, ever in love.
Well, by my count, we now have a small majority on the board, so we say no to Zenith.
Oh, the board meeting, all that talking was always just a formality.
Oh, well, why don't we get it over with?
I'll follow on.
Right.
I have to go and see a lady.
No? You tell me no, you're a fool!
Miss Lane, please listen.
Why? How can you be so stupid?
I couldn't tell you last night. You were tired. You wanted me to think about it.
You haven't thought about it.
I've thought about it for 13 years. I've had 13 years alone to think about it. Ghislaine, you're not suggesting a marriage. You want a merger. You want me as a buffer. Something to hide behind. I won't be that. You want to be left alone. I don't. I've been alone since my wife died. I've lived behind my work. There's been nothing else, but that's not how it should be. I'm not young anymore. I may be an old fool. But I'm not prepared to give up the chance of falling in love again.
An old fool is what you are.
When you've lived in the world for a while, I hope you'll see it.
I'll tell you what I do see, Mr. Stad. Your whole life, your job, your Mogul, you throw it away for something as silly as this thing that tried to dignify by the word love.
I'll give you a year, Ghislaine, before you learn how to see it.
What will you do after you resign?
I'm not resigning. Mogul's not merging with Zenith.
You expect me to back you after this?
I hoped you would.
You are the most incredible man. You're not fit to run something important like Mogul. You're just a madman, a reckless gambler. You hoped. I don't know what you hoped. That I would feel sorry for you, that I would back you. Why?
I hoped you would, but I didn't leave it to chance.
I walk out of that door as they may. You're out of a job.
No. Chester has changed sides.
Because he thought you had me.
Oh, yes.
But you haven't.
I have a majority with Mogul's board as well.
What good is that? You don't have the shareholders.
But none of this matters.
Would Zenith think so? Oh, you're a fool, quite irresponsible.
I may be a fool. I'm not irresponsible. I've made Zenith cable the press services with a statement, withdrawing all their merger proposals, which means they cannot back down.
But it's such a pity.
What is?
But he would have made such a perfect husband.
On Wednesday evening between 6 o'clock and 6:40, you'll be able to see live the arrival of the QE2 at the end of her maiden voyage to New York. The QE2, seen here as she was leaving Southampton last Friday, has BBC outside broadcast cameras on board. These will be linked to shore and helicopter cameras to cover this memorable scene as the great liner sails past the Statue of Liberty and approaches the skyscrapers of Manhattan. Already noted for its spectacular nautical welcomes, New York is preparing a lively reception for the QE2. The QE2 arrives in New York. Coverage live by satellite on BBC One and on BBC Two in color between 6 o'clock and 6:40 on Wednesday evening.
And now making a welcome return to BBC One for the start of a new series, Moira Anderson Sings.